Hello, everyone, and welcome to our series on constitutional law in India. In this series, we will explore the entirety of constitutional law in India, from the fundamental framework and historical evolution of our constitution to its pivotal role in shaping modern India. I'm Ayan, and today we'll journey through both the origins and significance of the Indian constitution, as well as its intricate structure and practical applications. We'll delve into the key features that make the Indian Constitution a unique document, offering insights into how it continues to influence our nation's governance and legal system. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on this series and other law related topics. Let's embark on this fascinating exploration of our constitutional heritage. The Indian Constitution is the longest written constitution in the world. But why should the Constitution matter to you? Imagine waking up one day and finding out that you no longer have the right to speak freely, to post anything on your social media, to practice your religion, or even to go to school. Or maybe you like the last part. But doesn't all this sound scary? This is where the Constitution comes in. It's not just a piece of document, it's your shield, your voice, and your rule book for life in India. That is why it is important not only for law students to learn the Constitution, but also the general public. The Constitution of India is not just a legal document, it is the result of a long and arduous journey toward independence and self governance. Adopted on January 26, 1950, it laid the foundation for a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic. But where did it all begin? India's constitutional journey is deeply rooted in its history. After centuries of colonial rule under the British, the struggle for freedom united the people from all walks of life. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, and countless others not only fought for the independence of our country, but also envisioned a nation governed by law and justice, where every citizen's rights are protected. Following independence, India needed a framework to transform its vision of a free and just society into reality. This responsibility was entrusted to the Constituent Assembly, a diverse group of representatives chosen to draft the Constitution. Over nearly 3 years from 1947 to 1950, they debated, deliberated, and meticulously crafted the document that would become the backbone of Indian democracy. There are a few fundamental principles which are embedded in the Indian Constitution. Let's break them down one by one. Number one is sovereign. India is an independent nation with the ultimate authority resting with its people. Number two is socialist. The Constitution advocates for social and economic equality, aiming to reduce the gap between different sections of society. Number three is secular. It guarantees freedom of religion, ensuring that every citizen can practice and propagate their beliefs without discrimination. Number four is democratic. The system is designed to ensure that power is derived from the people through free and fair elections and that governance is accountable to its citizens. These principles are not mere words on paper, they form the very essence of India's identity. The Constitution enshrines fundamental rights that protect individuals while also outlining the responsibilities of the state. It ensures that everyone, regardless of caste, creed, or gender, has the opportunity to contribute and also benefit from national progress. Now, let's discuss how constitutional law is practiced and interpreted in India. To do that, we are going to take a closer look at the structure of the Constitution, its key components, and how constitutional law works in daily life. This will give you a basic overview of the Constitution. We'll be delving deeper into each of the articles in the upcoming videos. Now let's get back to it. At its core, the Constitution of India is a comprehensive document divided into several parts, schedules, and appendices. Let's begin by examining its primary component. The journey starts with the preamble, a brief introductory statement that sets out the guiding principles and philosophy of the Constitution. It declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic, and it emphasizes justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity as its foundational values mentioned in the preamble. Next, we have the fundamental rights, a set of rights guaranteed to all citizens aimed at ensuring individual freedom and protecting citizens from the state excesses. These rights include the right to equality, which comes under Article 14 to 18. Article 14 is equality before law and equal protection of laws. Article 15 is no discrimination based on religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Article 16 protects equal opportunity in government jobs. Article 17 abolishes untouchability. And Article 18 is for the abolition of titles. Next comes the right to freedom, which falls under Article 19 to 22. Article 19 gives us six freedoms: speech, assembly, movement, etc. Article 20, protection against self incrimination and double jeopardy. Article 21 is right to life and personal liberty. Article 21A is right to education. Article 22 is protection against arbitrary detention or arrest. Then we come to rights against exploitation, which come under Article 23 and 24. Article 23 is prohibition of human trafficking and forced labor. And Article 24 is prohibition of child labor. Next comes the right to freedom of religion, which comes under Article 25 to 28. Article 25, freedom to practice and propagate religion. Article 26, freedom to manage religious affairs. Article 27, no tax for promotion of any religion. And Article 28, no religious instruction in government schools. Next is the cultural and educational rights, which fall under Article 29 and 30. Article 29 says protection of language, script, and culture. And Article 30 is rights of minorities to establish educational institutions. And now comes the right to constitutional remedies. This is the soul of the Constitution according to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Article 32 gives you the right to move to the Supreme Court for fundamental rights violations. We will delve deeper into each of these articles in the upcoming videos. Since this is an introduction to the Constitution, I'm only giving you a brief overview for now. Now, these rights that I just mentioned are fundamental rights. They empower the citizens to seek justice if they feel their rights are violated. Now, complementing the fundamental rights are the directive principles of state policy, DPSP. While these guidelines are not enforceable by courts, that means you cannot go to the court for the government not following any of these guidelines, but they serve as a moral framework for governance itself. They direct the state to work towards social welfare, reduce inequalities, and ensure economic justice. The Constitution also outlines fundamental duties for citizens. These duties remind us that with the rights we enjoy comes the responsibility to respect the Constitution, uphold national unity, and contribute positively to our society. Moving on, let's talk about the structure of the government as laid out in the Constitution. India's system is based on a federal structure with a clear division of powers between the central government and the states. This structure ensures the balance between a strong central authority and the autonomy of states. The Constitution establishes three primary organs of the government: the legislature, responsible for lawmaking; the executive, charged with implementing the laws; and the judiciary, which ensures that the laws are interpreted and applied correctly, safeguarding justice and constitutional rights. Now, one of the cornerstone features of the Indian Constitution is judicial review. This empowers the courts to assess the constitutionality of legislative and executive actions. Through landmark cases, the judiciary has played a crucial role in interpreting the Constitution and protecting individuals' rights. Judicial review ensures that the Constitution remains the supreme law and that any action by the state contrary to its provisions is rendered null and void. This means that the Supreme Court has the power to make any law unconstitutional if they do not follow the provisions in the Constitution by violating fundamental rights or in any other way. The Constitution cannot be just considered an innate document, but it's a living document, and no living document is static. The Indian Constitution includes a detailed amendment process that allows it to evolve with changing times. While the process is deliberately rigorous to preserve the Constitution's core values, it also provides the flexibility to address contemporary issues and incorporate progressive changes. Today, constitutional law is not just studied in textbooks, but is actively applied in courts, in legislative debates, and in the everyday governance of the country. It provides the legal framework within which policies are formulated, ensuring that every action of the state remains aligned with the principles enshrined in the Constitution. Now, to recap, in this part we covered the preamble, its significance, fundamental rights, directive principles, and fundamental duties, the federal structure and separation of powers, judicial review, and the evolving nature of constitutional law. Together, these elements create a robust framework that not only governs the state, but also empowers its citizens. Thank you for joining us in our series on the constitutional law in India. We hope this dive into the Constitution's structure and function has enhanced your understanding of our democratic system and how it works. If you have found this video to be helpful, please like and share. And do subscribe if you want to learn more about the Indian constitutional law, as we'll be covering the whole constitutional law in India in the coming videos. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, you can leave it in a comment below.